Hello everyone, this is Karen.
Brr. Is that the elephant sound? Brr.
I don't think so. I think it goes like.
Whoa, good.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody, I'm Shane.
And today we're looking at day 1 of watching elephants walk free. And the vocabulary words are tribe.
Tribe.
The young people of the tribe must show respect to their elders.
Village.
Village.
Leo is from a small fishing village on the coast of Taiwan.
Arrival.
Arrival.
Our flight's expected time of arrival is 6:30 p.m.
Tourist.
Tourist.
The small town gets a lot of tourists during the summer.
Chain.
Chain.
The prisoner was kept in chains during the trial. So we're talking about elephants.
Elephants.
Cute elephants. I love elephants.
Well, everybody loves elephants, and maybe that's kind of the problem.
There's a problem with people liking elephants? How so?
The title is called Watching Elephants Walk Free. So what's the opposite of free?
Not free?
Not free, or like in prison, or
are
like in
right.
captivity. So the author went to visit an elephant sanctuary.
Okay.
Have you ever ridden an elephant before?
No, but I've heard a lot of people who go to Thailand and then they would go on these elephant rides.
Right.
That's one of the tourist attractions.
Yeah.
Right? But the reason why I have never done it is because I heard they're actually, while they're training the elephants to do these things, they're actually not too nice and a little bit cruel. And baby elephants are being taken away from their mothers.
Right.
How about you?
Well, I have been on an elephant ride.
You
but
have?
I didn't really know. I was pretty young when I went, and I think the elephants were in a pretty good situation there. It wasn't too bad, but I'm not sure. But now that I know, I think that I would recommend to people not to spend your money supporting that kind of thing.
Exactly.
So some sanctuaries are put together to get the animals from these bad situations and then take care of them and help educate the public.
And the elephants can walk free.
Yeah, okay. Let's learn more about this sanctuary in Thailand for the cute elephants.
All right.
How do you do it again?
It's like this, and you go.
Watching elephants walk free. Last fall, my daughter and I visited Kindred Spirit Elephant Sanctuary, which is located in the mountains of northern Thailand. Although our stay was short, it turned out to be the most memorable part of our holiday. The sanctuary is set in a Karen Hill tribe village that is made up of around 20 houses. Upon arrival, we went to the house where we would stay for the next 2 days and met our kind host family. Afterward, we headed to base to learn about the elephants that were in the sanctuary's care.
Today's lesson is called Watching Elephants Walk Free. Free! Part 1. Hi everyone, my name is Jeff.
And I'm Mike, and yeah, elephants. Freedom. Are you
It's
okay?
no, this is going to warm your heart. There are a lot of elephants that don't live in very good conditions, okay? And people are helping these animals, these magnificent creatures, to walk free once again.
So these are elephants that were sort of
In
locked
captivity.
and chained up. Oh, and now they're free. Okay, all right. Now I understand
In bad
more.
conditions.
That sounds pretty interesting. So let's find out all about elephants walking free, which we all agree is a good thing. Yeah, all right. So let's find out. Well, the writer actually is telling us about an experience they themselves had. It says, last fall, my daughter and I visited Kindred Spirit Elephant Sanctuary. Kindred Spirit Elephant Sanctuary, which is located in the mountains of northern Thailand. Okay, so we're talking about Asian elephants here, not the African kind. And yes, in Thailand, they have long used elephants, right, as working animals, but people are trying to let them be free now. So northern Thailand's a great place to go to see some elephants.
So they visited this sanctuary, okay? This sanctuary for elephants. And although our stay was short, says the author, it turned out to be the most memorable part of our holiday. It was the most memorable part of this particular holiday. Memorable, that means you are going to remember it forever.
It was that special, it was amazing, it was incredible, it was something you'll definitely tell all your friends about when you get home. So let's find out about this animal sanctuary. It says the sanctuary is set in a Karen Hill tribe village that is made up of around 20 houses. Wow, so we're way up there in the mountains of northern Thailand. A sanctuary is kind of a protected place, you know, a bit of a hospital slash, you know, protected zoo slash sort of...
Kind of like a shelter?
Shelter, yeah, somewhere where people who are in trouble can go and they'll be protected and cared for and given a chance to start again. So that's what we're talking about, kind of an elephant hospital and school, you know, where they can learn a new way of life. And it's also up there in a Karen Hill tribe village, which is a local northern Thailand tribe, the Karen. These are native people to northern Thailand. And when we talk about a tribe, we're often talking about native people, Indians, Aboriginals, you know, different types of terms for them. But these are small ethnic groups. They probably live in a more isolated area. They might live in small communities just with each other, and they have maybe their own language and their own culture, their own traditions, religions sometimes. But when we often think of native people or Aboriginal people, we're thinking of different tribes in Taiwan. There are several tribes, right? Ame, Bunun, Taya, that type of thing. The young people of the tribe must show respect to their elders. This is part of their culture in this tribe, in this native group.
There you go. Now we also have this word village to talk about. Taipei is a big city, okay? Now if you start moving down, okay, you go from a city, let's say, that's a very big place where people live. Then maybe you have a town, it's a smaller place where maybe a few hundred or a few thousand people live. Now, if you get even smaller than that, where maybe only a few people live there, you've got yourself a village, okay? It's a small place where maybe not that many people live, and it's a place that might not be as sophisticated or advanced as cities or big towns and stuff like that. I actually grew up in a very small town. You could have probably called that a village. For example, Leo is from a small fishing village on the coast of Taiwan.
All right, so we're up there in the mountains near this little Karen Hill village. It's very nice, very beautiful, very green. And it says, upon arrival, we went to the house where we would stay for the next 2 days and met our kind host family. Well, sure, it's a village. You could hardly expect them to have a big 5-star hotel. So if you're going to this village, you'll be staying with local people, this host family, basically your guests in their home. And this is the first place they went on arrival, or upon arrival, which means the same thing. And when we talk about arrival in this form, this noun form of the verb to arrive, it means, yeah, when you get somewhere, all right? You arrive at 6 o'clock, or your arrival time was 6 o'clock, the end of your journey when you get to your destination. For example, our flight's expected time of arrival is 6:30 p.m. That's when we're going to get there.
Now afterward, it says next, we headed to base to learn about the elephants that were in the sanctuary's care. They're going to learn how these elephants were mistreated in the past, but now they're going to roam free after getting some help from the people at this sanctuary. Yay, this sanctuary is the best. All right, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a short break, but don't go away. We'll be back after this.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。去泰国旅游往往都会有骑大象的行程，那这其实是一种很残忍的行为。而这2天的课文是要介绍一个大象庇护园地，在那边可以了解到那些大象以前是怎么被虐待的，然后现在如何重获自由，可以自由自在的漫游。那么 Jeff 老师刚刚用到2个动词 mistreat。treat 前面加上 mis 变成这个动词，可以表达虐待或是不当对待。还有用到 roam roam 表示漫游或是漫步。好，那么还有用到一个字叫做 captivity。captivity 它表示囚禁、关押。那这个字是拼音做 captivity。captivity。那我们可以用 in captivity 来表达说处于被囚禁的状态，或是指圈养、人工饲育的意思。好，那么课文作者跟他的女儿去年秋天呢，造访一个大象庇护园地。那它位于泰国北部的这个克伦山部落村庄里面。作者他们抵达之后呢，就先去看看要住的房子，然后认识一下寄宿家庭。接着他们就前往基地去了解庇护园地里面照顾的大象了。好，这边来看3个单字 tribe。它表示部落、部族。Mike 老师在解释单字时用到 Aboriginal 这个字 ，Aboriginal。Aboriginal 可以当形容词来形容原住民的，也可以当名词来指原住民。还有用到一个形容词叫做 ethnic，ethnic。ethnic 它是形容种族的或是民族的。好，那我们知道可能有一些部落它是位于比较偏远的地区，这时候我们其实可以用 isolated 来形容偏远的或是孤立的。那这个字是拼作 isolated。好，再来看下一个单字 village。Village 它是指村落，在后面加 r 变成 villager 就是村民。那么村落的发展它并不像城市那么样的先进复杂嘛，那么 Jeff 老师就用到 sophisticated 来形容它是复杂的、精密的。那我们来拼一下这个字，它是拼作 sophisticatед sophisticated。好，再来看 arrival。arrival 它是名词，是指到来、抵达。我们可以用 on arrival 或者是 upon arrival 来表达说一抵达。好，继续回到课文中。
Watching elephants walk free. The eldest, Tu Mei, had spent much of her life giving tourist rides with a heavy iron seat tied to her back. Her daughter, Mei Doom, and grandsons Dodo and Gentong had also spent years in chains doing hard labor to entertain tourists. It broke our hearts to hear their sad stories.
Okay, let's start learning about the elephants that are in this sanctuary. The elephants that this sanctuary is helping out.
It says the eldest, so that's the oldest of the elephants living there. Interesting name. The eldest, Tu Mei. I hope I'm saying that right. Apologies to the elephant if they're watching. The eldest, Tu Mei, had spent much of her life giving tourists rides with a heavy iron seat tied to her back.
Wow.
Yeah, this is one of the things that elephants might do for tourists up there in northern Thailand. They used to be used in cutting down trees and doing heavy lifting work in the jungle, but now with more tourists going up, they often give rides to them with a heavy iron seat, kind of like a saddle that you would sit on a horse, but this is much bigger, much heavier, and large tourists will sit in this. And poor Tu Mei spent many years of her life walking around with tourists on her back.
Would you like to have a heavy iron seat tied to your back?
With a heavy American tourist in it?
Oh my gosh, that would be terrible, because iron is a very heavy metal. So this was not a good thing for poor Tu Mei. Anyways, here we're talking about tourists. Okay, a tourist is a traveler who is seeing the sights in a particular place. So travelers leave their home country, let's say, and they go abroad, and they want to see the cool things, the sights in that particular place. They want to do cool things there. They're seeing the sights. These people are tourists. For example, the small town gets a lot of tourists during the summer. There you go. And apparently there in northern Thailand, some tourists think it's great to get an elephant ride. And hey, I have had an elephant ride before. It is very cool. It's very fun, but it's not good for the elephants. Let's face it.
No one really wants to do that, absolutely. And Tu Mei has some family up there too. Along with her, it says her daughter, Mei Doom, and grandsons Dodo and Gentong had also spent years in chains doing hard labor to entertain tourists. What is a chain? This noun, it's basically a large, strong metal, kind of like a rope, but it's made of links. Each part of a chain is a link, and we use chains for things that are strong or heavy, that are in danger if they start to just roll away or something like that. Boats will tie, large ships, I should say, will tie up with chains. When they're building large buildings, they might use chains to hold things together for a short time. And of course, bridges often have chains holding the road up to the towers and things like that, because chains are big, heavy, and strong. For example, the prisoner was kept in chains during the trial, and people would think that it's cruel to keep someone in metal chains. Well, it's just as bad to do it to an animal.
These stories they heard about hard labor and chains and heavy iron seats, okay, it brought some people to tears in our story here. It says it broke our hearts to hear their sad stories. They were really sad. They were weeping because of all the terrible things that these elephants had to endure. That was sad. Anyways, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a short break, but don't go away. We'll have more for you after this.
好，那在那个庇护园地里面，有一只年纪最大的大象，它大半辈子都背负着沉重的铁质坐骑，让游客来骑乘。那它的女儿和孙子也有好几年的时间是拴着链条做苦工来娱乐游客。Mike 老师说，在大象背上放的那个坐骑就有点类似马鞍，老师用到 saddle 就是马鞍 ，S-A-D-D-L-E 这个名词念作 saddle。好，那这边还有两个单字。Tourist， 它表示观光客或是游客。Chain 表示链子或是链条。当我们说 in chains， 就是指带着锁链、镣铐或者是用链条拴着的意思。那刚刚说大半辈子都背负沉重的铁质坐骑供游客骑乘，这边有3个重点。好，第一个动词 spend， 它表示花费，像是花费时间或金钱，主词必须是人或动物。那常见的句型是主词加上 spend 加上时间或金钱，那么后面可以接动名词或者是接 on 加名词。例如Tim spends $100 on lottery tickets every week. Tim 每个星期花了100元买乐透。好，第二个重点 ，give somebody a ride， 它表示载某人一程。那么 ride 在这边是当名词来表达旅行、旅程或是车程，像是你骑马或是坐车的这一趟旅程这样。好，例如 They insisted on giving me a ride home， 他们坚持要载我回家。好，第3个重点是 with 加受词加受词补语，它表示附带状况，用来补述说明句子或是主词的原因或是状态。好，那它的受词补语你可以用现在分词、过去分词、形容词或是介系词片语。举例来说 ，The dog lay on the ground with its leash tied to a pole， 那只狗狗躺在地上，它的狗链被绑在一根柱子上。那例句里面我们就是用过去分词 tied 来当受词补语，去说明这个狗链被绑的状态。我们说 be tied to 加名词就表示被绑在什么什么上。好，接回到课文中。
Watching elephants walk free. Early the next morning, we saw Tume and May Doom exploring the forest and Dodo playing by the river. Seeing them free was a heartwarming experience.
Okay, let's get back to the story here. Okay, the people in our story, the author and the person with the author, they are at an elephant sanctuary in northern Thailand, and they just started to learn some of the stories of these poor elephants there in the sanctuary. Now, early the next morning, we saw Tume and May Doom exploring the forest and Dodo playing by the river, which is a lot better than seeing them in chains.
Absolutely. They were just exploring the world, having fun, doing what elephants love to do. And the tourists, knowing their long and sad history, their long and sad story, seeing this was much better. It says, seeing them free was a heartwarming experience. Not heartbreaking anymore, heartwarming, which is a positive, happy, wonderful feeling. There they are, happy, healthy elephants, no chains, no one's beating them, just doing what they like to do, being elephants. All right, guys, that's it for today. We end on a positive note. Hopefully we'll have much more good stuff about elephants walking free in Thailand for you in part 2 tomorrow. Come back for that. Until then, bye-bye.
隔天一大早，作者看到有大象在探索森林，那么有的在河边玩耍，看到它们自由的模样非常感人。那么课文它是用 see 来当感官动词，表达看到什么什么。好，我们就来学感官动词 see 的用法。第一种用法是 see 加受词加原形动词，那这个句型是强调过程或是事实。例如 ，Jane saw the boy steal the bicycle。Jane 看到那个男孩偷脚踏车，那我们是在强调他看到这个事实。第二个用法是 see 加受词加上动词 ing， 那这表示强调动作正在进行。好像是 We saw a student running after the bus， 我们看到一个学生正在追公车。第三个用法是 see 加受词加过去分词，那就是表达受词的被动状态。例如 Ron saw a police car parked in front of his neighbor's house. Ron 看到一辆警车停在邻居的家门前。好，那么以上今天的讲解，同学们别走开，马上回来哦。
Hello， 各位同学，大家好，我是季安老师。我们今天带大家看一下应答问题的复习了，也就是说，我们听了好多种不一样的这些Q&A 的问题形式，对不对？那我们今天呢，帮大家复习一下我们之前听过的一些类别哦。OK， 希望大家都可以答对咯，祝好运，开始了。
Can you take care of my dog while I'm on vacation?
A.
Yes, you can take pets on the bus.
B.
No, I never bring my dog on long trips.
C.
No, I'm allergic to animals. Sorry.
Alright， 这一题呢，答案是第3个，希望大家要答对。
Can you take care of my dog while I'm on vacation?
Can you take care of my dog while I'm on vacation? 往上提，所以它是一个 yes no 的问句。所以它在大家在听这个回答的时候，有 yes 跟 no 的是首选嘛？那我们看到这边 A、B、C 都会有 yes 跟 no， 所以你就要听后面的东西了，是不是 ？No, I'm allergic to animals. Sorry. OK, allergic 是过敏哦，我对动物过敏，不好意思啊，所以答案是 C。Alright， 那 A 呢 ？Yes, you can take pets on the bus。那这是类似的相关的字眼。B 呢 ？No, I never bring my dog. OK, dog, dog， 所以答案是 C。Alright， 再来我们继续往下看第2题。
Why don't we grab dinner on our way home? A.
No thanks, I don't have time to stop anywhere.
B.
I didn't take it, but maybe Claire did.
C.
I don't know how to cook though.
Alright， 我们再听一次啊，注意听一下它的疑问词是什么，它真的意思是什么
Why don't we grab dinner on our way home?
他说 Why don't we grab dinner on our way home？ 我们这是一个建议，对不对？我们何不在回家的时候呢，顺便买晚餐好了。
Why don't we grab dinner on our way home?
Why don't we grab dinner on our way home?
A. No thanks. I don't have time to stop anywhere.
就答案是这个 No thanks, I don't have time to stop anywhere. 哪边都没有办法停下来，没有时间。那 B 呢 I didn't take it, but maybe Claire did. 就没有回答到哈。而且 Why don't we 讲的是现在，对不对？那 I didn't take it 这个时态就错了。I don't know how to cook though. 不过呢，我不知道怎么煮。都要直接去买晚餐了，为什么还要煮嘞 ？OK， 来，我们再听下一题。
How often does Gloria call in sick?
他的疑问词有没有听出来？他问的是什么嘞
How often does Gloria call in sick?
A. She isn't sick. B. She hasn't called. C. About once a month.
Alright， 所以这一题呢还蛮明显，对不对？大家有听到那个疑问词 How often， 所以就是多久一次嘛。那接下来就听
How often does Gloria call in sick?
Okay, how often does Gloria call in sick? Call in sick 就是呢打电话进公司呢请病假。
A.
She isn't sick.
B.
She hasn't called.
Call
C.
About once a month.
答案是第三个 about once a month， 所以这边 sick 跟 call 都在刚刚这里有 ，OK， 所以呢，答案就不是他们啦 ，OK， 所以呢，帮大家复习一下这3种类别。以上是我们今天的第一个复习，我们下堂课见，拜拜。
See you next time.